Oh, man, I am so grateful for all the people that donate money. It's amazing to me that we are able to make this show because people donate by going to patreon.com/we have concerns. Isn't that amazing?
I mean, I'm pretty blown away by it.
I
You wanted more energy out of me.
I was hoping maybe that... Drink your coffee.
There's a guy who builds it better.
There's a guy who's a specialist in that.
Get it from him. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens.
Hey, Anthony, the show is called We Have Concerns.
Yes, I do know that.
And
Don't try to test me. I've been paying attention.
Good. Thank you. Here we are.
You are?
340 episodes in, something like that?
I have not been paying attention to that.
Yeah, right. One of my biggest concerns in the world, I don't think I've ever brought up. Actually, two of my biggest concerns in the world that I think about way more often than I should.
All right.
You ready for this?
Ready.
Appendicitis,
Okay.
kidney stones. Terrified of both. Think they're always going to happen. Always thinking about them happening.
When I was a kid, I asked my mother if I could go in for a voluntary appendectomy.
Did you really?
Yeah, because there was a plot point in like every 80s sitcom where somebody would all of a sudden feel really awful and have appendicitis. I remember it was on Growing Pains. I want to say they did it on The Cosby Show. Like, they did it on a lot of shows.
My mom took me aside one day and said, if you ever have a pain, in your belly right about here.
Yeah.
And so if every day I was like, is this the moment? Because she's like, sometimes
Was this in a pre-AIDS world? Did we have nothing else to worry about?
I guess. I don't know. But I'm telling you, through my entire life, anytime anything good is about to happen to me, or I have a thing that's planned that I'm really excited for, or I get a good job and I'm really excited to do it, I always think, is this the time when the appendicitis is going to hit?
Probably.
Or the kidney stone is going to happen?
Well, that's the thing, is I always wanted to go in. I asked her if I could voluntarily have my appendix and my tonsils removed.
Just take them all out.
Just take them out.
Actually, that does track with you. You're just like, remove all the weak parts.
They serve no purpose. They clearly just get removed, and all they are there to do is cause you pain randomly out of nowhere.
Why leave the potential?
Why leave it in there?
Yeah.
So, I used to ask her if I could have those voluntarily removed.
Take my wisdom teeth.
She's like
my tonsils.
She's like, no, people don't do that. I did ask about my wisdom teeth, and she's like, you don't have those yet.
Doesn't matter. Go in.
Can we go in and remove them now? Do they exist now in some vestigial form or something? Like, how can we get? But she was like, no, you can't just voluntarily have those removed. It's a dangerous procedure. I'm like, it's not as dangerous as having your appendix burst
just waiting
on the way to
around?
the opera.
Waiting around?
Which happens to so many people, according to television.
It could happen. It's a ticking time bomb inside
The second
me?
you buy a ticket to the opera, your appendix knows.
That's what happens.
I want to say Mr. and Mrs. Seaver were on a second honeymoon.
Probably.
I remember either the opera or Paris.
Never
but I'll
works
tell you
out
what,
for them.
Never works out for them.
Yeah, and now that I'm a runner, the kidney stone thing I think about all the time.
Does that give you more?
Yeah, because if you get dehydrated, it leaves the salt deposits in your bladder, and those can calcify and turn into kidney stones. So it's much more common with runners.
Just another reason not to do that thing, Jeff.
I know. There are a lot of reasons, it turns out.
Yeah.
There is hope in the form of an article that was sent to us.
In the form of not running.
Well, that's not going to happen. Juniper Foxtrot posted this at our subreddit, which is wehaveconcerns.reddit.com. This is the best possible solution to the kidney stone threat. The threat that we're all facing from kidney stones.
Okay.
There's no help for appendicitis yet, but maybe someday. There is a researcher or a couple of researchers in Michigan. These are amateur researchers, but researchers nonetheless. They stuck to the scientific method. And they have determined...
Like consulting detectives.
Exactly.
Okay.
They have their amateur researcher's license.
Yeah.
They're bonded in the state of Michigan.
They're amateur radio operators. They're amateur knife throwers.
Yeah.
Dilettantes is what we call those people.
They're Renaissance men.
Yeah.
These guys have determined that riding roller coasters can help you pass kidney stones.
How have
Not
they
just
determined
any
that?
roller coaster, Anthony. Big Thunder Mountain at Disney World.
Oh.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Because it's shaky. It jerks you around a lot.
Jerks you around. In fact, you don't want to sit in the front of Big Thunder Mountain. You want to sit in the back of Big Thunder Mountain.
Oh, the front's not going to do it, but the back is going to get rid of a kidney stone.
Back's going to help you much, much better.
Now, Help meaning what?
Evidently, it allows you to pass them immediately. So if you know that you have a small size kidney stone, basically what science tells you is wait around until that extremely painful moment when it passes. And maybe it's going to get bigger before it passes. We can do something. We can shoot you with lasers and all kinds of stuff and try to break it up. But you just sit around and wait for it to pass extremely painfully, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guys say, hey, you got a small kidney stone? Time to go to Disneyland or Disney World and ride that Big Thunder
Preferably
Mountain.
Disney World if you can swing it.
Well, I'm a West Coaster.
Yeah.
And a roller coaster. This is scientifically proven. They have found that you have a 67% chance.
What the fuck is their procedure? What is their sample size?
I'm so glad you asked, Anthony. I'm so glad you asked.
Because you can't just be like, hey, we're going to get a bunch of people on a roller coaster and like maybe they have kidney stones and then maybe they won't after. Like, how are they doing this?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. This is the best part of this story. So first of all, you need to know that these guys are professor emeritus at Michigan State. These are serious men.
Sure.
But they noticed
Go green.
because anecdotally they had heard people say, oh, I went to Disney World and I was able to pass my stone and it worked out and it was a lot less painful. I got it out. So after hearing this a few times, they're like, we need to come up with an experiment that will prove or disprove this hypothesis.
Okay.
So what they did is they 3D printed a bladder, a kidney.
Okay.
They filled it with urine and filled it with tiny calcified stones.
Okay.
Then they went to Disney World. 2 dudes and their tiny 3D printed kidney. And so they didn't want to get in trouble at Disney World.
No, God,
so
no.
they went to guest services. And they walked up to the manager and they said, we've come to Disneyland with a sack full of urine. And we intend to do this experiment. What do you think would happen?
Well, there is a mandate at Disney World to make everyone's day as special and magical as possible. But at the same time, you can't just throw a bag of urine around at Disney World.
That's right.
If I was the guest services manager, I would be torn. I would certainly ask for their professor emeritus badges.
Yeah. Make sure that they're licensed and bonded in the state of Michigan to perform
To
experiments.
be emeritus professors.
As luck would have it, Anthony.
Yeah.
Lightning struck that day. It truly was. They wished upon a star.
The guy had a kidney stone.
Yes!
Yeah.
The manager had a kidney stone.
Yeah.
And he was like, yes, please, anything you can do to help. He knew the pain, Anthony.
That man could have been fired.
He didn't care.
He took his life into his own
There's some things
hands.
that are more important because he's been through that pain.
They give you a special button if you're running a science experiment at Disney World. They'll give you one for your birthday.
Yeah, one
They'll
for your
give you
anniversary.
one for your anniversary,
Yeah.
one if it's your first time at the park,
Yeah.
and then one if you're a professor emeritus performing a gentleman's science experiment.
Yeah, it's a little badge that says, I'm carrying a sack of urine.
It's a badge that has Mickey in like an old-timey diving helmet with the bends. And it's a special pin that you can only get from the pin traders.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that there's somebody doing gentleman science on the ride with you.
It's a picture of Goofy, and he's saying, oh, shucks, I'm learning stuff. Hey!
And he's drinking mercury. Just to see.
So, because this man empathized, he let them proceed. They took great care to make sure that the urine did not spill. By the way, the professor said, the person in this article, this is an article in the Atlantic, by the way, the writer of the article said, you didn't actually use urine, right? It was just water. And he's like, no, it was urine.
No,
it was my own urine.
We had to use urine.
It was my urine.
We had to get it as close. Look, we already weren't using a real kidney.
And he was
We
like,
had to get everything as close as we could.
yeah. And he's like, you know how inconvenient it is to stop in the bathrooms at Disney World? You just, if you have your own kidney bladder with you, you could just, you stand in line. You're in line a long time.
Yeah.
And these guys ended up riding Big Thunder Mountain 200 times. 200 times, 200 total stone rides, they call them, on Big Thunder Mountain. They hold the bag, the fake kidney, at kidney height to try to subject to the same forces that a person would experience. And the stone, they said they counted it past if it moved from its starting location lodged in the calyx. I don't know what that is. And then fell down
It's a river
to a
in
trap
Egypt.
point. where the kidney meets the uterus. So they did this scientifically, and they said 63.89% of the time, kidneys passed if they sat in the back of Big Thunder Mountain. That is good. That's a good ratio. 6 out of 10 times? You kidding me?
So how much of the system, I mean, is it the kidney and then the entire urinary tract? Like, how much of the system did they 3D print?
It doesn't go into detail about that, but you got to admit.
Because the painful part is the end of it, Jeff.
Oh, I know.
It's not getting out of the kidney. It's getting out of your body.
Yeah. No, I don't think they carried around a 3D printed penis with them.
I'm just saying, like, then how do we know? Like, it gets out of the kidney. I mean, I guess what they were saying is it's not a painless passage. I guess what they were saying, like, if you just want to know that this thing's going to happen and you want to know when.
Well, they're saying
if you want control over your fate.
If you have a small kidney stone,
jump on that runaway train.
Get it out of you.
Yeah.
Go to Disney World. Have a day.
Make a day of it.
Just enjoy. You know,
grab a loved one. You know,
you get an apple strudel.
Sure.
You go to you swing by and watch a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have the nice Aladdin show playing.
Trying to look for the hidden Mickeys.
Oh yeah, it's great.
It's lovely.
You ride Peter Pan, then you ride the teacups, and then you finish the day off with a Big Thunder Mountain and a kidney stone passing.
Spend a couple $100 on collectible pins. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I think that's mostly you.
The
pin thing is taken off.
Well, good on them. I wonder if it has to be a roller coaster now. I'm wondering, because basically what you're doing is you're doing the equivalent of turning your backpack upside down and shaking the stuff out, right?
Yeah,
like,
this is the Etch-a-Sketch of.
I know my cool pen is down there. I know that my cool pen is in my backpack. I've lost my cool pen, guys.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt.
What was it, like
out.
a regular pen? No, it was not a regular pen. I'm telling you, this shit was cool. It was like 4 colors. It was my Archie Fun Club pen.
Well, did you look in your bag?
I did, but I can't. There's so much stuff in my bag. I'm just gonna, and that's what you're doing to your kidney stone, right? Could you do this? Could you go to the trampoline park?
Maybe
that indoor trampoline.
I mean,
thing.
I think these guys need a lot more funding.
Could you learn to parkour? Would learning to parkour do it?
Kidney stone parkours.
Would that happen?
That might be smart.
Is it just? Will this work for all other kinds of discomfort?
Just sit on the washing machine during the spin cycle.
Will this help any other kind of intestinal discomfort? If I'm stopped up, can we shake me?
Maybe.
I don't know.
These guys need more funding.
Have you been shaking your baby? You know you're supposed to shake your baby like 5 minutes
aware
every
of
day.
That. Yeah, he gets a good shaking. If he's crying, he gets a good shake.
Good. Yeah, you have to.
Because I don't want him to have kidney stones.
Science says babies are really, really prone to kidney stones and just crying for no fucking reason.
Well, Anthony,
and you gotta shake that baby 3 to 5 minutes a day. Don't ever shake a baby.
Don't shake your
This
baby.
is the only joke where when we do it, I have to like stop and go, "Don't do it."
I just witnessed my wife going through
kidney stones
labor, and they say it's equivalent. It is the closest men can feel to childbirth.
Did you take your wife on a roller coaster?
Now I feel like I should have, although they specifically say don't about the pregnant ladies.
Babies are so weak.
Yeah, I know. Kidney stones, not.
They're
weak.
literal stones.
Yeah,
they're salt stones.
I want a baby
made of pain.
Stone. You should have a baby stone.
You just get your baby bronzed.
There you go.
Get the whole baby bronzed.
Get the whole. Just
people
dip
stop at the shoes, but here's the thing, Jeff.
Yeah.
That baby's not going to be a baby forever. You really, it's not just about the shoes. You know, the shoes are like, oh, remember when he was so small?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because of those shoes, but, I don't have a full memory of it. I would really like...
It's hard to project the size just from the shoe.
Yeah. So what you do is, and I would say, obviously you can't bronze your baby.
Right.
I've watched Game of Thrones.
But don't you hold them? You hold them right by that part on the heel, the back of the heel, and then you dip them.
Yeah,
That's what you do,
like
right?
Achilles.
Yeah.
But no, what you do is you take your baby. You can't bronze your baby. You can't cover your baby in gold. This will kill your baby. What you can do? Go to a Renaissance fair. You know where you dip your hand in the wax? Whole baby.
Whole baby up to the neck.
Into the wax. No, whole baby.
Okay. You cut out.
Close your eyes, baby.
You just
is
cut
what
out
you
the
say.
air hole.
No. And you dip the baby in.
All right.
And you let it set
Wax
a little
baby.
bit. Yeah. And then you cut the baby out, and then you have a perfect wax baby that you can always remember.
You turn it into a candle or anything?
You can do whatever you like with it. It's your wax baby. You paid the $10 to the weird guy who has a criminal record.
Is that how they make the Madame Tussauds?
Yeah. They dipped Britney Spears into wax.
Finally.
Yeah. It happened a long time ago. Just dip you into wax. We will always remember you this way, they say. They take you in the night.
They just dip you.
They just dip you.
I'm having seen my wife go through that excruciating pain. There ain't no epidural for kidney stone passing.
Why not?
That's a very good question, but there isn't.
Okay. I guess because they can't induce it.
I don't
Like
know.
they can't induce a passage of a kidney stone. Like when you're going into labor, like it's happening. When you're well, I guess when you start passing the stone, they could give you something.
I don't know if they do or not, but
I guess
I
they
know
could.
that everyone I've ever heard of that's passed one says
Heroin.
it's the most excruciating thing they've ever experienced. I do not want to do that. I will go. I think Disneyland should start advertising this as a feature of the park.
They should have, like they have grad nights, they should have gentleman science nights.
Just a bunch of like middle-aged men
Yeah.
in discomfort
I don't want
riding their
everybody
rides.
listening to know that I'm using the term gentleman science because that's a term from like, I'm not using it because I'm sexist. I'm using it because that's a term from like the 1800s,
Right.
early 1900s, where it was like these dudes who had no training but a lot of money.
Well, in this case, it actually applies because it's a male-specific problem.
Yeah.
And I imagine just a bunch
because
of...
a woman couldn't solve a kidney stone,
Well, I don't think they get kidney stones.
but
do
they couldn't solve it. They couldn't 3D print.
They could
kidney.
solve it. I'm saying that they're not as incentivized, perhaps.
Maybe. Yeah, but I would like to do all kinds of science at Disney. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Just run all kinds of experiments.
What roller coaster's good for? Let's find out.
Like, how many times can somebody go through It's a Small World before they finally apologize for all the racism in history?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
I like
a good
that
one.
Disney Science Night.
Disney Science Nights.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's like grad night, but with no sex, no flask. Well, different flasks. Erlenmeyer.
Yeah,
Not like hip.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, just a bunch of people having a good time. The lines for the rides are actually surprisingly short on Science Night.
That's true.
Surprising. And everybody's a single rider.
Yeah.
Everybody's a single because they're just like, I don't know, I got to go in and get my results.
I got to
real
have
quick.
a control experiment.
Yeah.
I can have no accompaniment here.
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into this.
I love this idea. It actually...
We can turn Disneyland into the world's premier scientific facility.
It's
I think.
already a petri dish of sorts.
It definitely is.
So we might as well just go all full bore on that.
You ever stuck your hand into the water in the Jungle Cruise?
No.
I dare you to.
There are creatures in there. I've seen them. They have to shoot the hippo every time.
It's
I'm not going to stick my hand in there.
You have to wonder like how long that water's been stagnant
Yeesh.
and like what's going on. Here's the
But
thing.
you know that everything in Tomorrowland is edible.
Every single thing.
Everything.
The rocket ships taste like snozberries.
Because in the future, we need to eat things.
I just love that they found the guy who had a kidney stone.
How great is that?
It's amazing.
It's, they say it's the magicalist place on Earth.
That's what they say. That's what they write on the
The
signs.
magicalist place.
The most magicalist place on planet Roof.
This actually eases my concern a
So
little bit.
are they, I mean, obviously they published their findings. Is anybody taking this seriously? Is anybody looking into it?
Yeah, I mean, they're talking about it. They say they want to have more.
They called up their old colleagues at the university, like the ones that the younger guys that they worked with before they retired. And the dudes were like, okay, Harold, yeah, I'll pass that along. Yeah, roller coasters.
It's like you laughed when I moved, had vacation in Florida, but
Yeah.
now I'm still doing science here.
Yeah, that's great, Harold. Listen, man, you need to find a hobby.
I have a hobby. It's called science.
No, I know, but listen, man, I just think ever since Esther died, like maybe something around the house, like maybe, take up gardening or something.
You think
I think you're getting a little obsessive.
gardening can help with arthritis? Let's do some experiments.
All right. Do some
Maybe
experiments.
gardening, because of the manipulating of the flowers,
Yeah.
it can help you with your arthritis.
Listen, Harold, if there's ever anything you you really want to talk about,
Yeah.
I want you to know I'm here. Okay? But enjoy your arthritis experiments, buddy.
What do you think about Big Splash Mountain?
Deal with her death, Harold. Click. Guys, where would you like to do a science experiment? What would it be?
Ooh.
Where on Earth would it be? And what would it be?
I mean,
And can we have the patent?
yeah.
Can we publish the findings?
Wait, I don't know how to answer that one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Give it some thought.
Yeah.
And let us know on Twitter. I'm at A Carboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And you can hashtag that kidney stone.
Yeah.
That's probably not being used anywhere.
No.
And you certainly don't want to click on it because I'm sure nothing will show up, especially nothing that's going to like wig you out.
Yeah.
Or
just turn off image
you out.
search.
Do it during your lunch break.
There you go.
And hey, guys, are you supporting us on Patreon? I know we hit you at the beginning and the end of the podcast with this, but it's kind of important. It's the only way that we actually have the funds to continue making the show.
That's correct. And we appreciate that. And you get some cool stuff out of it, too. You can get early episodes. You can get cool, fun hangouts with us once a month. You can get fun physical things that we send you in the mail at a certain level.
Yeah, that's a new thing. Everybody this month who's at $25 and above is going to get something secret in the mail. I think we're mailing those out next week.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. We've been working on this for a little while. And then everybody who supports us at $10 a month or above gets all the episodes a full day earlier than anybody else.
Yeah, and if you want to hear those little bits of conversation we have at the beginning in their entirety, $3 and above gets that. So that's pretty cool.
And everybody who's a patron also gets a patrons-only discount to the We Have Concerns store, which is wehaveconcerns.com/shop. That's where we sell all of our T-shirts, hats, mugs, yo-yos.
Wait, we have yo-yos?
Beer koozies. Whistles,
3D printed bladders,
3D printed bladders. Oh, the stuff that we have. Anyway, so if you haven't checked it out yet, go to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns. We really appreciate it.